Hi, and welcome to another episode of Assholes Anonymous, a safe place full of dick jokes, inappropriate humor, and fucked up shit. My name is The Masks. The Jim Carrey's The Mask. And I'm an asshole. And I see we have some new members. Would you care to introduce yourselves?
I am Reptar the Barbarian.
I am Geronimo Martigo.
And I am El Narco de Oro.
I'm sorry, is the gentleman's name Juanardo El Julio?
El Narco de Oro.
And Narco del Culo?
I hate you. I hate you so much. I'm not saying that.
He's not even saying a similar word.
I've had a few beers.
I'm El Narco of Gold, all right? I'm trying to say everything in Spanish.
El Oro?
He keeps saying of ass? You're the ass inspector?
El Narco.
Sphincter.
El Narco.
Soy El Narco. I'll just keep it as that.
Soy el Narco. Oy. Oui, oui.
El Narco de Panocha.
De Panocha. I know that. I know this Panocha well.
Yeah, man. We all know this Panocha pretty well.
I realized I've been drinking more than I thought I was.
Today's subject, fetishes.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone here have a fetish?
No.
Look, man, I'm going to tell you right now. If I were to have a fetish, it's very Manila. And for you guys who don't know what that means, it's pretty soft core.
White people. I mean, okay.
Vanilla or vanilla?
Whoa,
It's
you son of a
Manila,
bitch.
right?
I thought it was vanilla.
Is it vanilla?
I thought it was vanilla because
Vanilla.
vanilla is from Philippines.
No, it's
And
totally
that would
vanilla.
imply crazy, like
Like
lady
a Manila
boys.
folder, but with sex terms.
I'm thinking Manila, like Ladyboy Philippines.
No, you gotta think Manila is like just bland. It's a folder.
That's
Vanilla
what I
is flavorful and it has spices and it's robust.
And it's once.
So
yeah.
it's Manila because it's just like
I always thought it was just
Nah.
vanilla.
So you're saying you have a boring fetish?
I think it's compared to the fetishes that are fucking out there, I think it's
There's a lot.
very in the bottom of the list of how hardcore it is. And the only fetish I have would be just like lesbian chicks, man. That's like
a
my
fetish.
fetish.
You know what? I can agree with this because whenever
Yeah.
I do watch porn, it has to be lesbian porn.
I think that's just a male thing at all. It's two
No,
chicks
dude.
together.
No.
is like
But that's not necessarily
awesome.
like.
I know a lot of men who are like, dude,
Yeah.
you get off of like a chick fucking another chick with a strap on? No,
Well,
man.
and me and Narco have had this conversation before, to where we're like, we can't watch porn if there's a dick in it.
and that's the thing with
I think
other
that's
guys.
a little much. I don't know.
yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's
I mean,
it might
what
be
other
a
guys
much-
say. Other guys are just like, dude, it's not another guy's dick. You just gotta imagine it's your
It's
dick
your
fucking
dick.
the chick.
But I can't.
and
Like,
he's like, no, man. You hear the other guy grunting. And
yeah,
I
my
don't
voice
want
is not
that.
going. Ugh.
He's like,
it might be.
yeah, you like that. No, bitch, I don't like that.
that's
Please
where-
shut up.
That's where the filter search comes in.
Filter.
You filter out all those videos you don't like.
I don't.
But that's the thing. Like, as soon as another dick comes into the equation, my dick goes out. It's like I'm just like,
Wait, your dick makes a noise? That's
Yeah.
the awesomest thing ever.
that's another thing. I don't want to get caught because as soon as everybody hears, did you switch up from lesbian porn?
What if you're just in your job and people are just like, what is that noise? Do you have a boner?
At one point in time, you were just hard, right?
You know what though? I don't even think about it. I'm like, if for some reason I were just to come across a dick in the real world, I'd just be like, that's a dick, and I'd continue about my business.
But there's a difference between going about your business and
then-
being in the mood.
Yes,
I mean,
you're in
it's
the
like-
mood. You're watching porn. You want to like rub your own dick.
Yeah, but I'm not paying attention to the dick.
I'm with. I've never once thought like.
Yeah, I've never.
Oh, fuck. Sorry.
Yeah, I've never thought like, hey, there's another dick there. I'm just like, dick, whatever.
Whatever.
And that's what people tell me. They're just like, dude, it's another guy's dick. It's not like I'm masturbating to their dick.
Yeah,
And
you're
that's
not
why I
masturbating
think
to
this
their
counts
dick.
as, like,
There's a
a-
chick there.
But that's why I think this counts as a fetish because it's something required. It's like, or not necessarily where most fetishes like it's required to be there for us to get off. It's where something has to be absent for us to get off. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily everybody's going to be the same way. Other people experience it differently.
I think you're just insecure about dicks.
I think so.
Because if
Insecure means you're like,
for example, if I see a dick in a movie, I'm like, that's fucking funny. That's a dick.
yeah, it
Like
is
I don't
funny.
turn away, and I'm
not
like,
gonna
oh my
turn
God,
away.
no. I'm like,
Well, if it's in a movie,
they
that's
got
not gonna
me a
bother
dick.
me.
Yeah,
It's not gonna bother me. But in a porn, that's not what
Dude,
I want to see.
If I'm watching an R-rated movie, I don't have my dick out with my own hand fucking around it, and I'm about to fucking rub one out.
Well, no.
I thought this was a safe place.
It is a safe place.
This is
Well, you gotta think of it. You're not rubbing it out to the dick.
Well,
Yeah, it's
I'm
not
not.
to
See,
the dick.
but that's the thing. We're not saying that this is something like that we consciously think. I don't want to see a dick. It's
This
more
is
like
just a preference.
it's a preference. I
That's
prefer
why-
for it to not be there.
That's why it's like you said. It's a fetish. It's my preference. It's what gets
Yeah.
me off.
I'm not condemning you for your views. I'm defending mine.
Well, no, I'm not
And I
saying
like
that you're
that.
wrong.
I like
I'm
your
not
devil.
saying.
You're a devil's advocate.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that that you because there's a dick in your porn that makes you gay. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is because
Yeah, no,
of
I'm gay.
That's a big jump.
no, I'm not
Yeah.
saying
It's
that.
a big
Yeah,
jump.
but
I
That's
wasn't
a
even
very
thinking like
big-
that.
What?
I'm not saying like that you have to defend your position. I'm saying that if somebody like for instance has a foot fetish and feet has to be in there, well somebody else might be like as soon as they see a foot rubbing on somebody else's like wee woo that they're whether it's
You call it a wee woo?
like, that was cross gender whether it's for vagina or dick. Like if anybody has
Fair
like,
enough.
That's your word for a cross-gender person's
Genitalia.
genitalia.
for like
Stick a
okay for,
wee woo.
if anybody sees a foot rubbing on a dick or a vagina, they might be like, "What the fuck is this?"
True.
Other people are like, "No, this is what I need."
You know what I always wondered? How do you make those steps like into weird stuff? What's the progression?
I think you accidentally see it and you're like, all right.
Right?
Progression is really scary, all right?
That's
Because
what- I wonder that. Like,
fetishes can range very wide. It can be something like that's legal, and then there's the that's fucking illegal fetish. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
the kind of shit it's very like touchy.
And there's a lot of experimentation too. There's a lot of times where people get bored with the regular thing, and they'll go into another subject and they'll experiment with it. They'll try it out and they'll be like, "That's not for me,"
Okay.
or "Nah, I like this."
Can we talk about this where like there's certain fetishes where I'm just like I guess I see why people are into this, but like the choking thing, like that's one fetish where I'm just like, man, there's some
Dude,
chicks who love being choked.
Chicks love it.
That's the thing.
Not all, but yeah.
Most. Like
And-
a lot.
I'm not into watching it. Like,
But that's the thing, like I personally don't want to be fucking choked if I'm with, fucking some chick, right?
I don't personally want to choke a chick.
But there's guys who don't mind being choked. That's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to get at.
guys. Oh,
That's a different genre. Like
So you're saying normally you would think it's not a cross gender thing.
I'm not going to say I'm against it. Like, if it happens, like, I don't want to die. Like, I don't want somebody to die.
Yeah, because you get those
But-
people that they jerk off and they have like a belt around their neck, and next thing they know they've died.
But it's not
Autoerotic
something that
asphyxiation.
Yeah, it's not something that like if a chick like grabs my neck during it, I'm like, okay, she's really into the fucking moment.
Yeah,
I
I
can
don't
dig
mind
this,
that.
I guess, a little bit.
I think that goes to like one of my big fears of just being choked to the point
Yeah.
where like I just don't like it. So it will never cross that like
Yeah, because I remember
pleasurable side of anything to me.
I wouldn't
Yeah.
ask for it, but it wouldn't like
If you, I mean, if,
I wouldn't like throw her across the room if it happened.
Oh yeah, it's
Well,
gotta
no.
be like if your hands like on my neck, like
and you're like Adam's apple. Let's say you're
yeah,
Adam's apple. You know what I
it's-
mean?
It's not gonna freak me out, but if there's like significant pressure on it,
no, yeah,
it totally will freak me out
'Cause
because I don't like being choked like at all.
yeah. I remember when we were younger, me and Jim Carrey's were at somebody's birthday party.
Jim carries the mask.
Jim Carrey's a mask. We were at somebody's birthday party, and for some reason, everyone was drunk, and we were like, "Let's see who's the better wrestler." And
Yeah.
Mr. Mask said, "If anybody at one point gets me in a chokehold, I'm out. I don't want it."
Nope.
Which that might be there's a lot of things like that could also affect fetishes, where like somebody might be like, "This is my cutoff point," and it has nothing to do sexually. This is my cutoff point. Like for instance, people who want it in the ass,
Like
And some
almost
people
your
are like,
safe
"No,
word."
my ass is a no-fly zone."
Right?
Yeah.
Like the safe word is you just cross the fucking
You
line.
crossed the line,
I
please.
need to
Yeah,
fucking
don't.
stop.
Just don't do that.
Yeah.
But then we were talking about like how do you find that you're into one of those, and like there's the whole experimentation thing. I have experimented with stuff and found that I don't like things, and not so much from watching porn, but from actually doing it.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with trying things, and then you're like, okay, no.
Yeah, well,
and
like,
especially with porn, you come across many things because you're just like, maybe this chick's super hot, and you're like, well, it's not something I would normally watch, and then you're like, okay,
Actually,
that's
this-
not for me, or it is for me. I don't know.
for this person, there was no other person involved. It was just me on
Dude,
my own.
okay. But
You would-
can you say that like the whole choking thing is not necessarily like a pain thing. It's more like a oh shit, like I feel very vulnerable, right?
Or just the people who like being dominated.
Because
like,
when I'm referencing the whole pain thing, like I don't mind if a chick like claws her nails into my back. Like that's kind of painful.
Yeah.
But I don't fucking mind it because I'm just like, whatever. I feel like I'm doing a good job,
Yeah.
and you're showing that to me. And I feel that's the difference between
Being whipped.
choked and like having that certain like pain.
Okay.
Because choking isn't necessarily pain; it's just like a really horrible discomfort.
So for you, domination would be out, like being dominated,
I guess so. Yeah.
like with whips and shit like that.
Maybe I don't like pain, so I'd probably be against that too. Anything that hurts. Kind of takes me out of any like moment.
Yeah, same.
Like
it just
that.
makes me angry.
Yeah,
I just
it's
like get pissed.
I just
think
like
it's-
get annoyed.
So-
and, like, stop.
Leave me alone.
So you've never had that experience where the chick's like putting her nails into your back?
I had that, but that's a little like to me. That's more manageable. It's not as like
That's more for
painful.
her. It's like, yeah, she's into the moment. It's cool, I
And
guess.
it's anything that like revs you up a
But if
little
she
more
slaps
too.
me in the fucking face, I'm
Yeah,
done.
but
I am
Get the fuck
fucking
outta
out when
here.
it comes to that.
That's
So
what
there's
I'm
a level.
talking
There's
about.
like a level to the
Yeah.
pain,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, if someone, it's like punch me in the face right now so I can come. It's
It's like, no,
no.
get the fuck off
No,
of me. Go
please.
away. Get out of my house.
Dude, like I've read like Reddit stuff where like there's chicks who have been like, who are, ladies of the night. And they were like,
Prostitutes.
yeah, and there were guys who have certain fetishes, and the guy wanted her to just have her like 3-inch like heel step on his dick.
Oh my god!
I've heard of that.
Yes,
That's not
and that-
okay.
You know what? There's a
No.
lot of weird
And
dick
people are into that.
mutilation, like
Yes.
stuff that people like, and that freaks me out.
Any
man.
kind of mutilation is
Yeah,
out.
I'm not okay with any of that.
No. Why would you mess with your dick? Like,
Dude, that's
people
like-
who like sticking things in your dick hole. Why? Why do you? Why?
Okay, that's the thing too, right? Like,
and where do you figure that out?
That's so small. Like, why are you gonna do that?
Yeah, people like putting pencils in there, man. Ugh.
Dude, aren't you worried about the repercussions of that?
Yeah, because it's not just a sexual organ; it's your pissing organ.
Like, I gotta take things out of my body through here, all right?
yeah, necessary things.
So fetishes. What is the fetish that you might want to try? You might want to, or not necessarily have to, but
I've
might.
dabbled in a couple.
Like,
Okay, one was it wasn't so much we were dabbling in it; it was something that happened while like I was giving a girl a foot massage, and she gave like
You're banging her foot.
No, she rubbed her. She started rubbing her other foot on my private area,
Just say dick.
on my
okay.
dick, on
So-
my dick.
It's a safe place.
So like a foot fetish type of thing.
Yeah, but
It
it
could've
wasn't
been a foot
necessarily
fetish.
that I got like turned on by the fact that it was feet. I got more turned on that it was like somebody playing.
Well,
with my
obviously,
Somebody
if
touching,
someone's
right?
touching my dick, no matter what part of the body it is,
Yeah,
you're gonna feel it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's where it was. But it wasn't about the feet. It was more about just that.
just
Yeah.
to touch.
Then there was another chick that had me choking her. I was not really into that. That kind of freaked me out. Like I'm like I'm not okay with this. There was one that it wasn't really another person. It was more I wanted to try this out for myself to see what I felt about it.
So what were you fucking like? What were you fucking like? Mangoes or something?
No, it wasn't like fucking mangoes or anything like that.
Fucking
it was
pies.
It was when I was
Ooh.
younger.
You're putting things in your pee hole?
apple pie.
It was when I was younger and I first discovered Playboy, and I started watching like the Playboy channel.
You had
and-
the Playboy channel as a kid?
Damn.
Dang,
Fuck,
nigga got
shit.
money over
My
here. and
family
shit.
first started. No, it's not free. Like my family got a satellite, and I figured my.
So what you're telling me is that your father was the one who was like, "I want Playboy part of this fucking
no.
package."
It was like it was like a pay per view kind of thing. It wasn't like you pay for it; it just comes with it. But you'd have to pay for it if you watch it.
yeah.
And I figured out the
charge-
password.
Oh, so
And that's
it's
when
one
my
of those
parents found out because they got the bill and they're like, "What the
It's
fuck
one of
is
those
this?"
ordering systems. I know,
Yeah.
like a motel.
But like, and
The
I was
best we had was scrambled. The scrambled.
Yeah.
channel.
Hell yeah. Scrambled Cinemax.
You get that fucking like antenna to the right part.
Fuck yeah! If you were lucky, every now and then you see boobs.
It was like channel 78,
Every
and
now
you're
and
just
then,
every
like,
now and then.
that
Yeah.
does-
And it was like it was a cycle of boobs. It was like boobs.
You know what? The
Boobs.
sound was almost always there.
the
Boobs.
sound was
The
always
sound
there.
was good. It's a good quality sound, but you couldn't see anything. And every now and then, if you really squint, you see boobs.
see a
You're
nip.
like, yes, I saw some bouncing titties just
Listen
now.
to taste.
But like during this time was when I first got experience like looking at porn, and one of the things that I noticed was girls putting stuff up their ass.
Uh-huh.
And when I was younger, I started thinking, I have an ass. And I was like, I wonder what that's like. Well, actually, no. This was before that. This was when I was like a kid, like single digits age. I had an ear swab, and I had like.
How the
Let me finish.
If I clean my ears, I must be able to clean something
but it was
else.
like it was a kid's. It wasn't sexual at that point. It was just a kid's
I don't think so
mentality.
either.
It was a kid's mentality of like, well, I clean my ear with this.
It's
I
a
wipe my
dumbass
ass with a
kid
napkin.
mentality.
Why can't I stick an ear swab up my ass? And I did that once, and I did not like it. And it also, there's a lot up there apparently, according to what came out on the ear swab.
You're like, this doesn't feel right.
And then later on,
Or does it?
when I started
I'm
watching
confused.
later on when I started watching porn, and I saw like girls like putting stuff up their butts, I was like, well,
What kind of stuff?
I was
If
like,
you
I
don't
could-
mind me asking.
They were like, I don't know, like,
Like cucumbers?
getting banged in the butt, they were dildos in the butt, whatever. It was the porn.
Oh, so regular stuff. All right.
Yeah, but like for that,
They're not putting like beer bottles in their ass and shit.
no, nothing extreme, like stuff that you would see in porn regularly.
Not like at like some bachelor party or.
Were you
No.
sure it was up their ass or not in their veg?
No, it was the ass.
You
There's a
can
lot
tell,
of-
dude.
I was just saying because if you're young, maybe you don't know.
No, this was like
That's true. Oh, that's a good
Yeah.
point.
Well, but at a certain point, you realize that there's two holes.
Yeah.
And and you know they talk about it sometimes. They're like, put it in my ass,
In my ears.
in my ass.
No.
She might have been Argentinian. Put it in my ass.
I don't think that's how Argentinians sound.
But
think so.
anyways, at that point, I was like, well, I have an ass. Is this something that like is it like
You know, whenever you're done with that
cross-gender?
story, I have a question.
Okay,
Yeah.
it was like cross gender. So one time I was sitting there, I was whacking it, and
Whack, 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 whack.
I was thinking, I was like, well, let me give this a try. So, so I took my hand and I reached around. And while I
This
was
is a
jerking
safe
it,
area.
while I was
Safe
jerking
place,
it,
safe place.
is a safe place. Hello, internet. I was jacking it, and I stuck my finger up my ass. Not like all of like not like I wasn't four
It's
knuckles
just a
deep.
tip. It's just a
Just a
tip.
tip.
It was just like a bit of my
Did you
finger,
get past
just like the
first
tip of
little
my
bendy
finger.
part?
Huh?
Did you get past the first
I
bendy
didn't get
part?
past that first joint.
The first
like,
knuckle?
That second joint, I never got that deep.
That's pretty deep.
No, not like that deep, but like my hands are tiny
Not
compared
like
to
your
yours.
hand. All right.
Big, meaty claws.
But the point is, I did it, and I was still whacking off, and I was like, you know what? Halfway through, I farted. Halfway through,
Halfway through you farted.
halfway
That
through,
would've
I
ruined
was like, you know what? I'm not enjoying this. This is not doing anything for me. So at that point, I realized I don't like things being up my ass.
I guess we'll.
Mr. Culero, you had questions?
Should probably turn that mic towards you.
I'm sorry. I'm just. That's kind of funny, man.
I thought this was a safe place.
It is a safe place. I'm not trying to make fun of you. I'm just trying to put myself in the situation.
Why do I imagine you going, one finger works, a one, a two.
That would be the second time you almost died from that phrase.
It's good. Okay. So my question after this story was like, if you guys have ever, do you remember your first time tried putting
first
into
time.
your first time trying to put into a chick's ass?
Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
everyone got
Yes,
real
I
quiet.
do.
The parking lot of Bernouche.
I've actually heard the story a few times.
Yeah, I think I know this story
Okay,
too.
but we understand. Like, I just want to get like a general concept of the feeling. Was it like, were you looking for it, or was she the one like asking for it?
It was a time of convenience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably the best way to put it.
It's more like you can't put it in that other thing.
So you were the one
Yeah.
who made the initiative, not her.
No, it was both.
No, mine was the opposite.
She was the one who asked.
Yeah, 'cause
That's-
it was
see,
like
that's
you
what I
can't
wanna
go
know.
down the Red River,
yeah.
you know. But
Oh, the Red River.
Not after Moses turns
then
it red.
I understand
Yeah.
now a lot more.
Yeah,
often.
it's always that.
Once
Yeah.
a month, Moses comes down
Your
and hits
first
his
time,
staff.
it's always that for sure.
and it was like
So is that a normal
One other
thing
option.
where you're in that 1 week where the river's
normal as in,
flowing and
like-
shit?
like every month or like
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
Once you get older, you're like,
It
okay, I
depends, I
can wait a
guess.
week. But when you're younger and both the participants are willing to go, you're like, nah, we got to do something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so then was it because you know how we talked on our older podcast about a guy fucking a chick without even waiting,
Yeah.
you know, and he spit his dick. Obviously, it wasn't like that for us.
No.
So I'm assuming. So was it for you guys? You know, were you kind of take it easy?
I didn't like it.
That first penetration was. Did you like it? Did you not like
I
it?
didn't like it.
Meh.
I remember just being like, this is okay.
Yeah, it was like, eh.
Because the thing is, there's so much hype around it that I was just like, you have thoughts in your head, and rarely does anything ever live up to what you're
That's
thinking.
exactly how I felt. When
And
it's
I
like,
was just like, yeah, it's not as great, but it's something.
It's
It
overhyped.
works. It's way overhyped. It's one of those things that I'm like, that's would never be my first choice. I guess it's just okay.
Yeah.
I did not enjoy it at all.
so was it like a painful thing, or you're just
It
like,
was kind
I
of
wish can I
painful.
stop it?
It was kind of painful, and it was dirty. Like if you had to avoid the Red River, but then you jump into the Brown River,
brown
you're not
sludge.
really coming out on top.
The fudge factory.
Hey man, but I mean, as long as you got your nut right.
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
That's the only part. You're just like, oh, you know, I got to bust my nut, whatever.
You know what? Okay, when you're telling us that story about your finger in your butt,
Yes.
You sound so tentative about it.
I was just like,
The butt with the finger
please
and the
don't
thing
touch me with those
inside.
same fingers. I don't know which one it was.
It was that one.
Obviously, it would be the,
The right
left
hand was busy. It was occupied, so it was the left hand.
Ugh.
It was one of those.
But I'm wondering, like, do you have that instinct thought? Since guys have their G spot in their ass, do you think that was curiosity mixed with a little bit of instinct?
Do I think it's instinctual for me to ram my finger up my ass? No. It was pure curiosity.
Instinct.
Like, because when you think about it, like you're open to this idea, but your body knows your body, basically. You know, and guys
Your
have-
body?
Yeah.
No, because whenever
have a
you're
G-spot in their ass, so
Touch
like
my body.
okay, first of all, no, because whenever I'm horny,
That's my
I can
vibe.
feel like warmth around the front area. I'm like, no, my hand gravitates towards my dick, but my asshole
that's
does.
your very first option.
Well, yeah, but my asshole.
all the blood's going. You're
Yeah,
just
but
directed
exactly.
to
So
your
like
dick.
naturally, I feel it there. I don't feel my asshole throbbing. Like, I need something in me.
Exactly.
I'm just saying, I
You don't
don't
have
know.
your second hand wanting to be like, I need a whole fist in that right now.
Yeah, my second hand
You should
isn't
never
going.
Put a fist in an ass.
My first hand isn't going. I'm going for it, and my second hand's going. I'm going to go for the assist.
Going for the alley-oop.
The alley-oop. Wow.
Yeah, I
Wow.
never feel the instinct to put something in my head. That was purely out of curiosity.
Okay, so I'm just asking because
And that's where a lot of like stuff getting into fetishes gets. Like some people are like people who are
somebody
into
had
feet.
to have done the same thing and been like, "Oh, this
Yo.
feels good." You know,
How old were you when you first had that
Had
Butt
what?
stuff?
that butt experience?
in your butt.
no, obviously not in your
Am
butt.
I the only one here who has had something up their butt?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, now I feel alone.
Besides the
I thought this was a safe place.
Like, I was seriously thinking about it. I was like, have I ever done that?
besides the suppository.
No.
I draw a
Nope.
straight line of no.
Now you do.
Ever.
Yeah, no, I've never.
It's always been no.
It's never
But I'm a
actually
very-
been a curiosity of mine.
But I've always been like an open person. I'm always willing to try a lot of things once. But the first time if I try it, I'm like, no, nah, I'm cut
I'll
off.
come up again.
No, I'm open to trying it. It's just like I've never wanted to.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
I'm
she
in the
asks
same
for
way.
it and like, okay, you want to, I'm not gonna fucking say no because obviously
Yeah.
you're into it. I'm not a bitch ass nigga like that.
No, if a girl asks me now if she can stick her finger up my butt, I'm telling her no. Because
Well,
like
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about my penis
My
and her
penis and her
asshole.
butt. Her butt, not my butt.
Yeah, I don't want her pegging me. Fuck that shit.
Man.
okay, no. Whoa.
That was
Like,
a good Broad City
first of all,
episode.
that's a good Broad City episode. If no one has ever seen it.
It
But
is
amazing.
that has definitely become more modern, I want to say, because no one ever talked about that until I feel like that episode.
Oh, yeah.
on TV.
There was an article I was reading about a girl who her thing was she wanted to do it. It wasn't the guy wanted to do it. She wanted to bang her boyfriend in the ass.
No, there's totally a lot of chicks like that. They have
There's a lot of girls like that.
domineering like feeling of I need to do this because it makes me feel on top.
Oh, that's weird.
But then, but the way the guy was worded in the article, it was saying that he was more submissive anyway, and she'd always been the more dominant one. But then the way they worded it is just, I don't know if it's maybe like as a guy, or maybe it's because me personally, I've always been more the dominant. I've never been the submissive, and like
I want to say we've all been non-dismissive or non.
I would say the roles are more universal now because women are a lot stronger and men are more open to their. Not
well, it's not even
feminine.
gender related. It's some people feel more dominant and some people feel more submissive.
Well, no, because it's always been gender related. It's always been the man's dominant in everything as far
Well,
as history goes. But
as far
now
as history
it's more
goes,
open.
but in terms of like I have family members that are female that are into domination and stuff.
Yeah.
And they're very so. As I grew up, I didn't associate it with like a gender thing. I've always associated it like one person is dominant, one person is submissive, and it could be either way.
Well, that's because you had that influence in your life.
So can we say whoever's inserted in anything is the dominant one, right?
I want to say so. Yeah,
yeah.
I want to say the person because that's more. There's more control there.
Yep.
There's one person who's the giver and one person who's the taker.
Yeah. That's the dominance role.
Yeah, because the taker is the one who's like reacting to somebody causing the action.
We
How do you feel about feet stuff?
I'm not into
these
it.
stuff. I've never happened
say?
to me,
I'm not into it.
but
doesn't
if
bother
it
me.
was to happen, I guess I wouldn't mind it. I mean, I guess
It's
Yeah,
one of
I
those
mean,
things
I
where
wouldn't
I've
say
seen
no.
like
Well, like what
Like,
grade
I've
of feet
seen it.
stuff?
Like-
I feel like it's really awkward, right?
yeah, I've seen it. I can't wrap my head around how it feels
Why?
remotely good or why.
First
what
of all,
kind of
like
feet
it.
stuff? There's different grades.
Between all the girlfriends I've had, I would never want their fucking feet to touch my dick to begin with.
I'd
all
rather
right?
like mouth or boobs.
He gets
Like
athlete's
if
foot
boob
on my
stuff I can
dick.
do. Mouth stuff, obviously, yes. But like why
boob
would
stuff.
feet?
That's a fetish, definitely, right?
What?
Like I could do that. That's
Titty
more.
fucking a chick.
Oh yeah, that's a
Yeah,
thing.
that's way more
Yeah.
more applicable to me
but
than
yeah,
feet.
I don't think that's more of a fetish. Like the boob thing, that's more of a thing than a fetish.
That's
definitely
I
could be a
see it
fetish.
as a fetish because it's something a little out of the box.
Just
Yeah,
think about
it's-
it.
it's a
Like
little
if you're into doing that, you're not gonna try to find a chick that has like A cup boobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. But like the thing I'm talking about, the feet stuff is like, especially since I told you a long time ago, I went into a shop where there was like a foot.
It was
Like-
literally like a foot.
Like literally a foot.
It was like a mold.
Yeah.
oh,
feet?
well, I've
A
only
foot.
seen the molds of like butts
With the
and, like,
hole in
vaginas.
the hole in the back.
In the heel?
And the heel. You just banged. And it's like, why? Why?
Okay,
No.
see,
Fuck
like
a
if a
foot?
girl was like rubbing her foot on like my dick as like
Dick.
foreplay, as foreplay, that's one thing. You know, to trying to like, ooh, I'm gonna get you excited. You know, that's one
That's
thing.
different. Yeah.
Whoa,
That's
That's
way too
different
good of
than like saying this
impersonation.
is a foot. I want to suck the foot.
yeah. I don't ever want to fuck a foot.
That's completely different. That's like saying, oh, this girl has a nice ass. To be like, I want her asshole. You know?
You call that a foot? Oh, I'm gonna make it into a foot right
Oh my
now.
god. Oh, look at her size 12 feet.
Oh, God.
Fuck that
like,
foot hole.
like Piggy
No.
Hill.
Peggy Hill or 14.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference. That's what I'm saying. Like the grades, there's different escalations of it. Or like there's some foot fetishes where people are like just into girls in stockings, or like nylon and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I just saw the show on Comedy Central, Not Safe, where they went into like panty sniffing fetishes that some guys
That is
got.
definitely a thing.
That's a fetish.
Okay, I actually have a thing for panties, but when they're on the girl,
Well,
it's
you're
different.
Not sniffing
want-
them. You're not taking them off and like.
You're,
No,
you're not doing
face.
this. You're not going like.
No, I'm not like you know she goes to take a shower and then I sniff the panties.
Yeah.
But like if she's on, she has like some skin tight panties and they have like maybe some lace or whatever on
You
them.
just like the
I'm
aesthetic
like,
of
oh,
them.
yeah, what are
That's
you
just
wearing?
lingerie. That's
Yeah.
normal.
Yeah.
That's cool. You see a sexy pair.
I feel.
of, like,
I don't think
underwear
that's
or
necessarily a
something.
fetish.
No.
You're just
No,
talking about
not-
the way you're talking
That's just
about
a
it.
female in sex clothes.
Okay.
But
That's all
how
it is.
the movie The Mask is talking about
Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Carrey's The Mask. He's talking about grabbing those panties. Obviously, they've been worn. And
Yeah.
you're just like taking a deep ass fucking
Oh,
breath.
no.
That's what those dudes were talking
And
about.
there's
like,
people who are done with that.
the dude's talking like, oh yeah, it's like you come back from the gym and you're all sweaty. He's like, that's the best time to like have it.
Dude.
And
I
to
can't
the
get into
point where
that.
the host is a lady.
Wait, are we talking panties or pantyhose?
Panties.
Like,
Okay.
And he's just like, "Can I have your underwear?" And she like gave it to him, and he was like,
No way.
Yeah, because she happened to have it. She's like, "Would you actually want to like sniff these?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, totally." And he was like, "Oh, did you go to the gym this day?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, it's so sweaty. It's so nice. Can I have these?" And she was like, "I guess so."
Because she doesn't want it back at that point.
Yeah, right. She's like, "Yeah."
Oh,
He's like,
my
"Oh, thanks."
God.
But being the gentleman that he was like, "Do you want a pair of my boxers?"
God damn it.
I think on that alone, on principle, you have to say yes. Yes.
She said
Would
no.
you like my boxers? That is very
I
gentlemanlike.
did think that was. It totally threw me off. Super gentle. He's like, "Well, if you're gonna give me these, I should give you something."
Let me give you some of mine.
On principle alone, you have to hang those on your wall.
Yeah, right.
Dude. But the fact that, and that's not like a small fetish. Like, there's a
That's a
lot
big
of
thing.
people into that.
The way, yeah.
Well, as we were talking about like grades
And
of
we're not
fetishes,
trying to talk down about these fetishes, guys. We're
No,
talking about
everybody's got their
if
things.
we're down for it or not down for
We're
it.
just talking about.
We're not saying that
you
it's
can
wrong.
like what you like. Who cares?
Okay, so let's talk about some of the more
Safe place.
extreme fetishes.
How extreme? Illegal extreme or legal extreme?
Bestiality.
No, we're not going illegal. We're not going illegal, and that's a no. I'm talking legal fetishes.
Okay.
Well, we're not talking about
So like
necrophilia.
bukkake was, I feel like very extreme.
That's a pretty extreme.
And
I'm
that's
talking
legal.
like mechophile extreme,
How is
Huh?
that
What the fuck is-
legal?
Wait, what's mechophile?
where you want to fuck cars.
Oh, I thought that was dead bodies.
No,
No, that's necrophilia.
necrophilia.
yeah.
I'm saying,
But that's illegal.
Mechaphilia.
Yeah, that's illegal.
Mechaphilia, like
Oh,
machine.
mechaphilia.
Who?
There are people
Dude.
who like, but they're attracted to the cars, the curves on the
Yeah,
car,
that
the
makes sense.
wheels, the joystick.
I saw some
The
fucking,
joystick. They don't have joysticks.
They're
the shit.
not joysticks. The
Stick.
Shift knob.
The shift
Sorry,
knob.
that's because I'm a mechanic.
the Prindle.
Yeah. Well, I don't know shit about cars.
The Prindle.
There's some people who are like their extreme is they'll fuck the exhaust, or like they'll let the shift knob.
That's so
fuck
bad
them.
for your penis, guys. If you do this, that's really bad.
What do you get from that? Either
I think it's because they're fucking something powerful, since they're really into.
They're into like
machines.
like fast cars, sexy cars, but for most people we're like, oh, that's a sexy car, meaning that's a cool looking car. They're like, no, that's a sexy car.
because I saw some show where this dude was like seriously in love with his car, and he was like making out with the fender, and like he was spending time with it. And
Yo.
like they didn't show it, but I'm pretty sure he was banging that
Dude,
car.
something.
No, there's people like that. He probably fucked that car.
something that I feel
sure.
like you guys can relate, especially you and you.
Jim Carrey's the
About
mask.
fucking a car, no.
No, fucking,
yeah, I was like, I
fucking
don't
a
know.
guitar.
No,
Because you know how
No.
I feel like a lot of musicians name their guitars female names.
yeah, that's
But that's not so
true.
much a sexual thing as much
Eh,
of
they
a...
don't they have curves? Do they not have like?
I could see where
They also have strings attached?
it's a
Hey-oh. Dun-dun-dun.
Sorry, I had to say that.
I could see it would be like it's like a weird thing where it's like you give your because when you see a real nice guitar, you're like, damn, that guitar is sexy.
It's sexy, exactly. So you wouldn't want to put your dick on that?
No,
No.
maybe because I'm a sane person. I don't know.
I don't want to put my dick on
Hey,
your
hey,
car.
this is a judgment-free
You're
zone,
right.
okay?
Could you
Safe
see
place.
people do that?
Yes.
There's probably people that do that, yeah.
Yes. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I would
Like,
say
this is
Prince
my
puts his
guitar. Let me put my most, precious thing on my body on it.
I'm going to say Prince and Dave Grohl put their dicks on every one of their guitars.
I could
What?
definitely say
For
Prince
real?
does.
I'm
Prince is weird.
I
I
wouldn't
would
say
say
Prince
they
is
just lay it
Prince.
down on the table and set their dick on it and be like, yes. Dave Grohl, too. I'm positive he sets his dick on every one of his guitars.
Yeah.
He uses a lot of those hollow body arch tops.
Yep.
Yeah, totally
Oh, that
perfect.
makes sense.
There's so much room for your dick. Those guitars are huge.
If it's one of those things like the guy who's banging his exhaust, that's like a 4-inch wide hole. No dick is that
No,
wide.
That
well,
fucking-
What do
there
you
are
get
some.
from that?
Well, yeah, there's
you're
people who-
basically thrusting the air.
For
First
them,
of
it's
all-
not a physical thing because there's no way. Like, there's a lot of them will touch like the hoods of their cars or just rub their bodies on it. It's more of a there is something connected between the idea of a car itself or a machine and their sexuality.
Oh.
Dude. But going back to the whole like when you talk about 4 inches from a exhaust,
Yeah.
there's from what I've heard from other women, they've experienced really girthy guys.
Yeah.
Like as girthy
4
as
inch girth?
Yeah,
4 inches
dude.
is a lot, though.
Fuck.
I know. No, that's more than 4 inches.
Wait, no.
If you got people
Because the
listening
tip
to this,
of your fingers.
people
this
listening
is
to this
1
can't see
inch,
this.
right?
This is about 4 inches.
That wide?
Yeah, that's what I feel like because they
That's
said
insane. That's not real. No, that would be
Okay.
like this big. Like
People-
No, they're out there, dude.
dude. Yeah, that's the thing. People have
That's
told me
crazy.
it's as thick as a fucking can.
Like
I
a
don't know why-
Coke bottle. Oh, yeah.
what's
Yeah.
your famous phrase? The tuna can.
Yeah,
The
short
tuna
and fat
can.
like a tuna can.
And I'm just like, whoa, you've experienced a chode before? Because I always thought that was not necessarily a
It's
myth.
just a myth. It's
Not,
Oh, so it
not
wasn't long,
necessarily
it
a
was just
myth,
wide.
but just like a funny thing to say, a chode.
Yeah.
But there are people out there who are unfortunately have a huge ass fucking like girth, but not necessarily like the length.
Short and fat like a tuna can.
And chicks aren't necessarily into that. But I'm pretty sure there's chicks
There's
out there
probably
who
some
are,
chicks that are.
who are into, but I don't think it's the majority.
Right.
Okay, we touched on
Dicks.
we touched on dicks.
Butt stuff.
We
That's
didn't.
just
We
usually
didn't
what
touch
touched on
dicks. We
dicks.
touched on dicks.
Well, you touch
Same
butt
thing.
stuff. You touch butt stuff
I've touched my butt stuff.
And on dicks.
at the same time.
We're going from what we just talked about fetishes that include people and inanimate objects. But in terms of fetishes with other people, there's also some really weird extremes.
Everyone just name fetishes that you think of.
Babies.
What?
That's
No,
illegal.
not actual babies. Not actual babies.
Oh, we said
No,
not illegal.
Not actual babies. There's a fetish out there. Not actual babies. There's a fetish out there where people like to dress up as babies.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've seen
okay,
that. I've
okay.
seen that too.
I
But
don't
people
remember
are
what
not
the
thinking about
technical
that.
term is called. There's a technical
You talking
term
about
for
like
it.
guys who dress up with the whole diaper and the bib, and they're like
They dress
sucking
up in a
on-
bib. They're like the
sucking
girl
on
actually
chicks' tits.
changes them.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
like and they
I've-
suck on the lady's tits.
I read that.
I've
All
seen
right.
that.
Everyone listening to this, we're not talking about actual
Like babies.
We're not talking about fucking babies.
We're
no.
talking about men, grown ass men in diapers with the little bonnet on their fucking head.
Yeah.
and
I really
fucking-
should have worded that better before. I said
Yeah.
it.
So,
Yeah.
Holy
my first thought
shit.
was, who is fucking babies?
Everyone
Why?
wanted to
Oh, the
not
singer
talk about
from
that.
what's that band?
Oh.
Last Train Home. He tried to fuck a baby.
God damn it.
Who?
Oh, Lost Prophets.
Lost
Yeah,
Yo, the
singer from
yeah.
Lost Prophets
That
tried
was
to
like
fuck
what?
a baby.
Like about a year and a half ago. That
I think
happened?
so. Yeah.
That wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
That
I
is not
deleted
cool.
that one song of theirs off my playlist.
that's funny.
Damn it. But no, yeah, like
Okay,
guys
yeah.
like dressing up as babies. Or what if it was the other way around? What if it's a girl coming up to you? Like if you had your girlfriend.
Yeah,
came up
you
to
don't
and she
hear
said,
about that.
You know what? No, they're out there. I've heard of some cases like that where they're like, I like to be the little girl in the situation, and I want you. That's sometimes like the girls who call their boyfriends daddy. There's some girls who just call daddy in terms of like in term of endearment, and then some of them who they want to be called their little girl, and they'll call the dad daddy
Yeah.
or the guy daddy.
They want to actually be in that like situation.
Yeah, I don't like that.
That's
No,
like
that's
the
weird.
weird role playing incest.
I've
That's
had
like
a,
if you're dating a stripper.
I've had a girlfriend who was into that, and it was really weird.
I've also had those.
And wait,
Couple of
you've
them.
had you've been in a relationship where a chick wanted to,
She wanted to be called little girl, and she called me daddy.
because that's something that I wanted to bring up because I'm not necessarily down with a girl calling me daddy.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm
and
not
I
super
looked it
awesome
up.
with that.
I looked up a lot of things like to make myself okay with it. I looked up.
you did.
There was something where they were
Or like the
saying
Mexican
that,
equivalent, papi chulo.
Papi chulo. yeah.
Papi chulo.
but they were saying like that the term daddy means that they're like referring to a guy who they could see as the father of their children, or something like that. And I was like, I kind of warped my head around. I was like, okay, that kind of makes sense. But then
But I don't see it that way.
But then one point, she said, like I was messing around with her, and she was like, "Don't make me go get my real daddy." And I was like, "That's not okay. Don't ever say that,
That's
to me
your line?
again. That's
That's
my
your
line."
fucking
I was
line?
like, that crossed the point of like, I thought like in my head it was like, no, I'm the male figure of like the head of a household or something, or like that I could be the, like but not the father. That's it was a weird relationship. And I was like I was kind of going with it because they're like, whatever you want. Yeah. But then after a while, well, it ended for other reasons. But no. Like if some other girl tried to do that now, I'd probably be like, no.
Not tonight.
Yeah, I think of weird
yeah.
stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't seem to fly.
Nah.
Like, because I start thinking that same way. Like, what does that make you then? If I'm the dad, I
Dude.
don't know. It's weird.
So can we talk about how some people are totally down with just fucking like other parts of the body that aren't like the vagina and the asshole? Like,
Like an armpit?
yeah, like
Whoa.
some guys are down with just fucking fucking a chick's armpit or fucking a chick's like behind their knee. You know
Whoa.
what I mean?
You know,
I did not know about that.
What? That's a thing, dude.
I heard I heard Tracy Morgan last night say. He's like, I like dating fat chicks because no matter where I touch on them, it feels like a boob.
Damn, that's some fucking real life shit, dog.
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Damn it.
That's funny.
But yeah, that's like a thing. Like, there's the guys who are down to like fuck a chick in their armpit or their.
I think that's kind of weird. It's kind of just, I don't know, be the equivalent of like using a flashlight.
It just goes back to the whole like, then why can't you just fuck them in the pussy? You
Yeah.
know? Like,
I guess
that's-
because it's different.
that's already naturally lubricated, I want to say.
Yeah.
And
It's
if,
made for it.
yeah, and like if that,
I can just imagine like what that you're mentioning this, and guys who also are into like big girls, like just fucking their folds.
that's another fetish. So that's the thing.
just
Well, you
weird.
know
But
what?
fucking
Just-
other stuff that's not their fucking ass or like their pussy, right?
It's weird though that just big girls in general is a fetish. Just like
Well, no, that's more of a body type. That's like saying that
Yeah,
you're
it's
into
not.
a
I
body.
wouldn't
Well,
call it a fetish.
the
I would just call
fetish
it
is-
a preference.
BBW, right?
Yeah, that's how I
Big black
search it
bitches
up.
or big black
Women?
Big
body-
beautiful women.
big
body
black women.
Hey,
Big, beautiful
this is a
women
no
is what it
misogyny
is.
zone, okay?
It's big beautiful women.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'm not super into at all.
But there's a lot of people
But
into that.
I don't know. I consider like that point at some point it becomes for like a fetish for some people if that's all they're into.
Well, because if it's to where you have to have that to get off, that's where it becomes a fetish. If it's a
Yeah.
preference, that's one thing.
No,
Yeah.
it's totally a preference.
No, I thought
'cause
a preference was a fetish.
No. There's a preference. Like a guy can be like, I like Asian girls, and that's a preference.
No, that's
but
a
they'll
fetish.
still date. No, they'll
An
still
Asian
date
girl is
other
totally
girls
a
though.
fetish.
No, that's a preference because if they still like to date other girls, that's one thing. But if they can only get off to Asian girls, that's a fetish.
I say it's a weird crossing line of like, especially in that same situation, where I don't know if you're just focused on one thing or anything you like. Does it become like a fetish if that's the only thing you're using?
I guess it
like if
depends.
you just like big tits, does that become you have a big tit fetish
No.
because
Yeah.
every person you model or you
to
date
have
or
big
you look
tits.
up,
And
has
that's
to
what I'm
have
saying.
big
It goes
tits?
from preference to fetish once it becomes a necessity.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, I guess. But I mean, if all the chicks you've been with have big tits, I feel like that's more on the fetish side than on the preference side.
No, it's still a preference because
because you prefer them to have.
it's like,
big
yeah,
tits.
you could date a girl with smaller tits,
But
you
they're
didn't.
not
You
fucking
didn't.
a chick
But
with.
if I think what
small
you're saying
tits.
is like if it like even if you meet this girl who's like super awesome but she's got small tits and you decide no, I need someone with big tits and you refuse to date
some
her,
big old titties.
that's when it becomes fetish.
Yeah, that's when it's a fetish.
Because preference is something you like, but there's other aspects to it that could take away from that or not. You don't even have to have that.
Sean Blank's getting deep inside of you.
Yeah,
But yeah, I
man.
guess that makes sense, man.
Yeah. What other weird fetishes?
Dang,
are
did
there?
we just explain the difference between preference and fetish? Because that's
Yeah.
like a really small line.
It's very.
It's
like,
it's a wide
very-
line. I would say it's a wide
Nah,
I
line.
say
think
it's a
it's
small
thin.
line. Like
Yeah.
it's thin.
No, because like it's a thin line for some people, but for some people, like you can be on one what you think is the line, and some people are like, no, that's still a preference, and you'll be like, no, that's a fetish.
Well, you also got to factor in standards as well. There's a middle ground
Oh, yeah.
between
No,
fetish
dude,
and
like-
it's like there's the preference of like this is what I'd prefer, but then there's
Yeah.
fetish of like this is exactly what I need. But then there's standards of like I could settle for this.
Oh,
Okay, so think about back to the porno thing.
yeah.
If we're talking about tits and ass, right? Mm-hmm. Like me personally, I want to find some porno with like some chick with a fat ass. So is that gonna be more of a preference or a fetish?
It's a preference because you could come across another video where you're like, yeah, her ass isn't that fat, but she's got a nice face.
If it's listed as a category,
That
is
has-
that a fetish?
Oh, that's a really good fucking thing. That has to be a fetish.
I don't want to say that's a yes or a no because I want to say some of them are preferences and some of them are fetishes.
Sometimes I want to get off to a chick that has to have a fat ass.
You just click the big butt option, like
Yeah.
there's something right there, right?
Well, no, because like I want to say that it's more. There can be preferences and fetishes on there because they'll have some of those preferences, like those things by race, where it's not necessarily like a race thing. I mean, we have friends that'll be like, no, I prefer these kind of women, and then some people are like, you know what, today I'm in this mood. You know, that's another thing that gets into it is moods, where your preference might change from day to day, or like from time to time. But fetishes are normally like they stick with you.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then I have a fetish with fat asses.
Oh man,
Because I don't give a fuck if she has a big tits or little tits, all right?
I guess a fetish isn't necessarily a necessity. It's more of a attribute that you seek.
A fetish?
Yeah, a preference is like, I'd like her to have big boobs, but a fetish is like she has to have a big ass.
Yeah. I'd agree with that.
She has
It's more
to,
of
right?
a fetish is a necessity. It's more like I need
and
this.
that's what I mean. Like,
But a
the
preference
whole,
is like,
it takes me fucking
not
30
like
minutes to find like a really good porno, and it's because I want that chick to have a nice ass.
well, but see,
It's face for
I
me.
would take away from that because like the reason it takes me 30 minutes to find a nice porno is because I'm into the storyline. I don't think I have a storyline fetish. I don't.
You do have a
Storyline fetish.
That's why you play RPGs.
You said you
Uh,
need
what?
a story.
That's why you play
Yeah,
RPGs.
That's why you're into RPGs.
I do play RPGs, but that's not the.
It is. You have a
it is.
storyline.
I have a
think that's a
storyline
fetish.
fetish.
You have a storyline fetish.
You have a storyline
If it's a
fetish?
good plot.
If it has too many plot holes, you're not into it. You need to have a good storyline.
Holy shit!
There's no way
You
that
just
can be your
explained
twin
it.
sister.
If you need it, you have to have. That's a fetish then.
Shooting blanks therapy.
Shooting blinks.
I'm gonna go jack off to Final Fantasy after this.
You jacked off the Final Fantasy before you came here.
Like, what's any different from any other day?
No, because back then I just thought it was normal.
It is normal.
Oh yeah.
Don't think that you're different. You're
Thank you.
fine.
This is a safe place.
Safe
This is a safe place.
Safe place.
Yeah, safe place, you know.
As soon as Legend of Zelda gets into it, now I go limp.
This beer is
I'm not
like a
puzzlers.
cup.
I'm not puzzlers.
It's like a cup, right? It's like a cup of beer.
Cup bear.
It is. I'll take off the entire top of it.
What about
beer.
edible stuff and fetishes?
What are you talking about? Like edible
That's
panties?
never been a thing for
I don't
me.
think that's. Is that a fetish?
I think
There's
it's a
two kinds of
preference.
fetishes. There's fetishes where it includes people eating, and there's fetishes that include what's called feeders, where you get off on feeding people
What?
in massive quantities.
Oh, dude, Family Guy made fun of
Like
that.
you just ram a whole roll into a chick's face, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh,
yeah, like
this is
forcing her to
sexy.
eat honey buns.
Those are people into
There's
that.
people that are into like they get off on forcing to eat, making a guy or a girl eat a shitload of muffins.
Whoa.
I feel like that's mostly Italians. I don't know why, but I feel like Italians would just love shoving food in their
It's more
partner's
of a
face.
paternalistic
Shove that
nature to
pasta in
feed
your
your child.
Like just a fucking breadstick. Just yes, that's sexy. It's
That's-
not, but
It's like a
you know.
paternalistic thing where they're like, "I gotta feed you."
Well, that would be definitely Mexicans. Mexican women are just like, I have to feed you everything, dude. I grew up with so many Mexican mothers that were just like, have you eaten today? Yes. Well, you're eating again.
Dude, that's
God damn it.
every like Mexican grandma. You walk in, they're like, "Hey, how's it going? I have this food,
But
eat it." I'm like, no,
there's-
thank you.
I
They're
would
like,
have like 7 meals a day, forcefully. I didn't
Yeah.
want them, but I was forced. Every time I went to a friend's house, they were like, here, eat this
Eat this
food.
food.
Oh, I'm offended that you won't eat it.
exactly right. Yeah. Oh, you don't want it. What?
and that's that paternalistic like no, I'm a mother head figure that I'm going to feed you, or I'm the caretaker, I'm going to feed you. There's some people they get off on feeding other people or like forcing them to eat. That's their or like I think with feeders it's forcing them to get fat or something like that.
oh, that's
Like
weird. Like Hansel and Gretel.
Not even forcing them to eat like regular food, but like making them eat sticks of butter and stuff like that. It gets to extremes.
Well, I mean, I understand that from like medieval ages because fat people were obviously, they were rich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were sexy because you
So,
had
yeah,
money. if
yeah,
you
you were
fat.
sexy because you were
Or
powerful
the
and you
concept
had
of
things.
childbearing hips was the thing back then.
Yeah.
Like a girl
Yeah.
with wide hips meant like, and that was before medicine was to the point where like, you know, if there's complications during birth, the doctors can help out. But back then, the wider a lady's hips were, it was like a sign of like there's gonna be less problems or it was called child giving or child. What is it?
Bearing.
Childbearing hips.
Rearing.
Child rearing? No, child bearing.
No,
Child
rearing
bearing.
is raising.
Yeah.
Bearing is
Yeah.
giving birth.
That's when you're raising a child. You have to hold one, and the other two just balance on your hips. But yeah,
This is like the whole of like just like you said, feeding people, but
please use the word "whole" sparingly throughout this podcast.
Whole.
but like people people crushing things with their feet. Like,
Yeah.
that's weird.
Remember that video of that chick that crushed things with her boob?
Oh,
there's
yeah.
probably-
Like she was just slamming her tit and she was like breaking watermelons.
And
Very
somewhere,
nonchalant about it.
yeah, and
Very
somewhere out there's a
nonchalant.
guy who's whacking it off to that.
That's true. I bet there's some weird stuff out there, man.
I mean, it's kind of cool to see like really big tits, but it's more like I'm not gonna jack off about it, but I think it's really cool to see it.
It's interesting.
Amen.
I watched it.
Like, 'cause
Yeah.
there's
Quite
sorry.
literally different strokes
There's,
for
I mean,
different folks.
there's some slim chicks that have huge ass boobs, dude, and just like I don't understand how that works. I'm assuming it's some genes, some shit that I haven't even learned about, and you're just like, wow, those
Well,
are fake.
hormones. It's all
It's hormones,
food
right?
hormones, yeah.
Well-
They're fed from their, infant stages, just straight hormones and steroids
Dude,
from all
'cause
this
they're
meat.
way-
Well, it's also a genetic thing because you'll notice like certain races have different attributes compared to other races.
because their waist is
Yeah,
like
but-
this thin, and they, like you said, that chick has like tits where she can crush a fucking can.
Yeah, like there's Middle Eastern women have a proponent for like big boobs.
Yeah.
Or, like African American women have a proponent for like big not boobs, butts.
Buddhists.
But
and, like-
there's been so much, like, as far as, like, racial cross,
Oh yeah, definitely.
breeding, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Have you
That-
ever heard of Rule 34?
No.
That there's a porn of
Is that
everything.
there's a porn, yeah. of
Rule
everything.
34?
Of
You guys ever heard
anything
of
you
this?
can think of. There's a
of it.
porn for it. I mean,
Oh,
like
yeah.
anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I think that's one of the the
I
truths
thi-
of this world.
I've heard something like that, but I never knew it was called Rule 34.
yeah,
Yeah, like give me a subject.
anything.
Ah, man. Beer.
yeah, there's some guy fucking a beer.
I'm pretty sure.
Like
Just a
at
straight
least-
glass and his dick in it.
it
or-
exists.
Or like a girl in a tub masturbating while she's in a tub full of beer.
Yeah.
Or like using the beer for like
Here's the thing-
lubrication.
The thing,
Or
too,
just
is that-
drinking the beer. It could be a girl because there's also things of girls just eating stuff.
While they're getting
It's
fucked.
not even sexual. They just sexually not getting fucked. It's just videos of them doing things, eating things in
I
a
feel like that
sexual
goes more
manner.
with the whole webcam girl type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like cam girl stuff.
But it's all neck up of them just eating or drinking something. That's a thing.
Yeah. They get paid money to do this.
Yeah.
Dirty
Yeah.
talking, like, I mean, if you're a chick, you could make a shitload of money just dirty talking to someone because that's what they want to hear. Is they
I'm gonna
jerk
shit
it.
all over these walls.
Yeah, you can say you can say any fucking crazy thing you want, and you
Yep.
never have to like even get naked or do anything like that.
That's I'm like,
People will pay it.
oh man. Yep, people are into crazy
People are
ass shit.
into anything and everything.
Gentlemen,
Yeah,
I think we've learned a lot about ourselves today.
I think so.
We've learned about a lot of each other.
Yeah, so
Yeah, don't look at me when you say that.
We forgot a lot of things, too.
What, man? I've been
Like
looking
my
at you
name.
all day.
who are you again?
I am Reptar the Barbarian.
I don't remember who I am.
I was gonna say the exact same thing. I think it was something like
That was Geronimo Scissorhands.
Guess two.
it's
guess
not
three.
it's not El Cuñado, but it's something close to it.
I'm
you, were,
Geronimo something.
you were like
or
El
another.
Carto or something, and then I turned you
Something
into
gold.
Culero.
No,
narco
exactly.
of
El
gold.
Narco.
El Narco. At one point, I called you El Culero, and you didn't say anything. You just went with it.
El Narco. And you were Jebediah.
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 Jebediah Edwards.
Jebediah Edwards.
And I've been Jim Carrey's The Mask. Play us off.
Check.
No one ever taught them about the birds and the bees. No one ever taught them about condoms or STDs. Now all they do is itch and scratch all day. When you sleep through sex ed. Well, that's the price you pay. Was a dirty touch. I never paid so much.